My name is Andrew Ellis. I'm the academic coordinator for Christian Halls, and we're doing how-to videos on setting up your hall and getting your students through the tutorial, application, and registration pipeline. So, thus far, our director profile has successfully created our test hall. We've added tutors, we've added tutorials, those connected to the hall programming that we added, and then we invited a student. That student has successfully joined our test hall. They've added a tutorial, and now they're in a good place to apply to become a university student and make sure that their classes are all set up and ready to go. So we're going to use a test case of Southeastern University. Students will see the application link here, and if they click on that link, they will be taken to a custom Southeastern University Christian Halls application form. The vast majority of our students for the spring that will be watching this video are working through Southeastern, but we'll follow through on this just to help you guys out. So a student will click dual enrollment or undergraduate. They'll click the term that they're starting. They'll click whether they are part of a local Christian hall or not. In this case, we don't have a listing for our test hall, but we do have the Permian Basin Hall, which is a hall that we're working with. And from that point on, students will be able to add their student information, their address, their demographic, parent information, and agree to this disclosure agreement. Once they submit this document, this form, they will have successfully applied to Southeastern University as a student, and within the next 24 to 48 hours, they should receive a confirmation email notifying them of their acceptance. That is specifically for high schoolers. If they are an undergrad, we're going to see that things change a little bit. Can add our programs, and you'll notice that, the parent responsible, that's still a factor. So they submit that, they'll get a email to their to the email address that they submitted here. And then they will be able to follow the next steps. And we'll read those through here. Number 1, click on the SUU application link and complete your student application. Step 2, once you're accepted by the university, you'll receive a confirmation email from the university. Step 4, log into your account, activate your student email address, register for and/or verify your class registration on JIX, and access your course content on MyFire. Note for high schoolers, your class registration will be taken care of by your hall director in coordination with the Christian Halls and SUU team. Be sure to add your tutorials in MyHall and/or communicate your class requests to your director. So at this point, registration for all high school students, dual enrollment students, dual credit students, is not available to students due to their age, maturity level, ability to follow directions, that sort of stuff. So Christian Halls, the local director, and SCU will be taking care of class registration. Once a student has added their tutorial, that will show up on the director profile. We've got these engaged students. We see the students. And we can see what tutorials they've added. So at that point, we're going to need to interact with SEU's registration form. And we'll use we'll see if this one pops up. Okay. So this is our director registration form. Christian Halls and SCU will be working with this form and updating it, but you will have visibility as a director to see, to add in content, and to basically have visibility on your students, where they're at in the process, if they're in the pipeline or not, whether they have an SAU ID and have successfully applied. All of these things will be visible to you here so that you can have total transparency on the process. So we would want to add a term. We want to add a session. We need to add a course name and number. In this case, we see that he signed up for English 1. ENGL 1223. ENGL 1223. Now, many of these will have a drop-down menu with classes, but in this case, we typed it in manually. We'll type in their name, middle name, and then their SAU ID. The SAU ID you are not responsible for. The SAU team will put that in, and if we have an SAU ID assigned, that means that your student has successfully applied to and become a student at Southeastern. If you have a student that does not have an SAU ID, you need to follow up with that student and make sure that they have submitted their application. It'll be great if you can list out your students and the classes that they're taking. You could probably do that very quickly. The big thing is to follow up on them about their SAU ID and make sure that they have that in process. Okay. I don't think you even need to put a date of birth because that will be supplied by their application. The big things are their name, their course, and the session. Now, let's say you have a student who's taking more than one class, okay, and we'll invent something, but we're going to do spring, session B, and we're going to do HIST 2103. You'll need to put all that information in again. So it's a line by line, every student, every class. You might have 4 or 5 of the same student with their 5 classes. And that way, it'll be great to see the transparency on which students, which classes, everything can be listed out, and you can see that everything is up to date. All right, at that point, Southeastern University will review this form. They will make any adjustments to registrations. If you have a student that drops, come in here, comment, say this student needs to be dropped, and SEU and I at Christian Halls will work to process those registration updates. These updates should come through weekly, potentially every day as we get closer to the enrollment deadline, and that's how the system we've worked out for you to keep track of student registrations and applications.